Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Siftiv and we're going to be reacting to my combat footage today. And I think that's a very, very important thing to do, especially since I've posted my combat footage on here. Let's figure out what I did wrong and what I did right. You know, let's look at it objectively, and being humble in the military is possibly the most important aspect or personality trait that you can have. So, let's do it today, alright? Last mission in Ukraine, starting off with artillery hitting 30 meters in front of me on the trench system that we were heading towards. Now, yeah, you can see all the shrapnel that's hitting that berm and then also the wall there. So I'm going to pause the video right here and talk about something. We had the decision to make. I was the point man. As soon as that artillery hit, we were all on the same page. Get off the X, run back where we came from. Why? We could have ran into the trench system that was just hit, but if we had done that, we actually would have taken casualties. There was a second shell that would land that you'll hear in about 40 seconds or so. So we ended up just running off the X, and this is where I would start the criticisms. You can see as we're running back, we're staying in the tactical column, we have dispersion. We only have one choice. I mean, what are we going to do? We have to run to the side of this wall here. If we go inside the factory, it's dark, we can lose each other, and we don't know if there's an exit. So we end up on the left side of this wall, bunched up together in the middle of an artillery, possibly barrage, as we're being watched by drones, who definitely saw us moving 5 minutes before this. Oh god, crazy stuff. Also, do you see that pull bar? I always wish I could go back and do some pulls. So, we ended up hearing that blast, and we waited until the second shell landed. That way we can move, which I think was a good idea. I mentioned dispersion right there, but you're gonna see me later on as we're running back. We're getting back to where we came from, which was a split-second decision. I think we did it as fast as we could. But you're gonna see me not even listen to my advice, dispersion, right? You're going to see us start to walk. And that's the thing about, I guess I'll let the video play as I talk about this, complacency. Complacency is where you sort of forget, here I am bunching up with my squad leader. We end up just not even listening to our own advice, right? Like a minute ago, we almost died from a fucking artillery blast. And here we are walking back. Walking back, no dispersion, just in a straight line, back where we came from. We didn't have much of a decision or much of a choice. Could we have went into that factory or that building to our left right there? Possibly. It looks kind of destroyed. I wouldn't want to go in there, but we end up just walking back, and that's what complacency is. You forget that danger is still here, and you get so accustomed to artillery, you get so accustomed to danger. And really, I mean, if they had just adjusted the artillery 200 meters to their west or whatever direction we're going right now, they would have hit us and we would have taken some casualties just because we're walking. So you see us start to get inside this factory, and instead of getting down into the bomb shelter, you'll see us just chilling here. I think that we could have done this a lot better. We had stayed here for about 5 minutes, just all getting together, and yeah, this is not the best choice. I think we should have gone to the bomb shelter, which our squad leader and team leaders would later tell us to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's talking to me. Yeah, this was 5 minutes into the patrol. This happened, and I think we reacted to it as best we could at the moment, but there was still complacency. You can see it. We've been through a couple missions already in this area, and we were just getting used to it. And, you know, everything's fun and games until you take a casualty. So anyway, I'm still point man. We end up taking a different route, which was a giant detour, which I think was a good decision, but also a bad decision. Why? We are carrying mines, all right? Today's mission was planting mines deep in a forest where the Russians are operating. So anyway, we ended up taking a 3-kilometer detour with all this weight, which would later come to haunt us. And you can see that I'm using any overhead cover and concealment that I can, because we know that the drones are watching us. So I'm using any cover and concealment. You're going to see later on, we're going to cross some roads, which I didn't get on video, that were in plain view of any forward observers that might be watching us. And that would lead us into this forest. We get in here. Somewhat, or somehow, we did not get seen, which is cool. But we're hiking now, after 3 kilometers of running around with all that stuff. After the artillery bombardment, we are walking in this forest. And myself as the team leader, that artillery was a wake-up call, but also, I have experience in Iraq and Syria. I did not take any of the actual trails through this forest, which existed. I decided to make my own route, but it was brutal, as you can see. Just absolutely brutal. It was bad conditions. I have really bad seasonal allergies. We're passing by all this stuff. This was old, though. As I go on, you're going to see me start to get exhausted. And that comes into play. Like, I just got out of the hospital. I probably should have just, taken a break. Like, get rehabilitated. Don't just jump into a mission because I want to be on it. Make sure I'm rehabilitated first. Why would I just got done with pneumonia. I'm still dealing with it. Why am I going on a recon mission of this extent? Why? That is my choice, and I should have stood up for myself and said, no, I can't do this. That was really, really dumb. But anyway, I do end up getting through this, and we all survived, which is cool. So we're just struggling to get through the forest right now. Sorry I'm talking so much. I've never done a reaction video like this before, but it's kind of fun. I'm already, I'm just looking back at this. I'm already learning a lot about what I did right and wrong. I haven't watched this in a bit. So you can see how dense it is. The team's behind me, my entire squad behind me is just completely pissed off that I'm taking this route. Look, I'm not going to take any chances. Point Man is never wrong. If he's going for the secure, safe route, and that annoys people because we're complacent to an extent. We want speed. We want to be able to get there fast. We don't really care about the danger of a mine or something, but yeah, you can see in the text as well. I'm starting to heat case. I've had this before in the Marine Corps. 29 palms are going to heat case a lot. But I'm just dying. Okay, so you can see me put my rifle down. I am literally in point, putting my rifle down, leaning up against a tree. You got to wait for security first before you tend to yourself, like, water, taking a break or whatever it is. So anyway, we ended up passing off the mine. My squad leader did something really, really nice. He took my mine off of my backpack, put it in his, and then put the second team ahead of us. So here we are, taking Sill's Halt. The Russians are right there, in that green tree line about 700 meters away. We're excited as hell. I'm looking back at my team leader and squad leader. I'm like, they're like, yeah, dude. We're going to kill him. We're just taking a halt, figuring out what the hell's going on. And you can see my buddy, when I look back, he was using a position that some people would call complacent, but I love it, and I think it's very effective. Where if you're in a patrol, you can see him. So he's laying down on his pack, and he's sort of like sitting down on his pack. I think it's a really good position. If artillery starts to rain in, you switch over to your side, you're safe. And also you're able to put your leg up just like this and sort of provide security in the front and also left, right. And you get to take a break. It's good for sill assault because you don't want to be in like the knee in a sill assault just 5 minutes and just try to steady yourself, not making noise. So you see me go into that position. I think it's effective. That's just me though. So we're just waiting. So those are the impacts. We didn't know who they were targeting, and they were targeting where we came from pretty much. The base we were operating off of. So as we went through, there's a lot of stuff I didn't catch on video. But actually, yeah, just like I am right now, later on, when I plant this mine, so here we are on the road, first of all. The tracked Russian mortar had just fired and left on that same track, and you can see its tracks. We start planting the mines. We're like, okay, fuck yeah. As soon as those guys come again, they're gonna die. And I hope one day I can go back to this area and figure out if we got anything. But you can see that we're not wasting any time. We're figuring out how and where to go and put the mines. Now, we had not had the fuses in. We decided to do that when we got there, which actually took a couple minutes. I don't have this on GoPro, but it took me about 3 minutes to get the fuse because the grain wasn't working. I was trying to get it in, so I did waste a little bit of time, and you can see me just shoveling dirt like crazy. Putting it everywhere, not even caring about concealment or, trying to camouflage anything. I'm just putting it everywhere, which is not a good choice. Because later on, I had to go and take all that dirt, bring it back in, then take like weeds and stuff from the surrounding area and put it on, wasting more valuable time. You want to make sure that, yeah, if you're planting mines or if you're doing anything, just camouflage. I mean, it's as easy as that. So anyway, yeah, we got there, and there's at one point later on, I don't have this on video, the second team we would move on to a different road. They would plant their mines, and we would provide security, first team. And yeah, so here I'm planting the mine. Now, when we were providing security, I remember distinctly, and we talked about it in the after action report, that's why they were pointing out, and it was absolutely right. We were smoking cigarettes on security, all three of us looking down the same road. It was, I mean, we cared, but it was like, what the hell are we even doing here? Like, why are we smoking cigarettes in the middle of a patrol like this, and also just looking down the same road? We were doing, like, it was really, really dense forest, so we wouldn't be able to see anything. We were mostly hearing. Sills Halt and security in general is a lot more than just visual. So, but I mean, at the same time, why are we smoking? Why are we doing that? It's a little silly. So he's helping me with the mine right now. You see, I'm kind of confused. So they had briefly taught us how to do this. I'm more of like what kind of learner? I'm somebody who needs to like touch the mine and figure out exactly how. I can't just listen to somebody say, oh yeah, you take that off the pin and then you... So it just sucks that in the field I had to realize how to put on this mine, wasting another minute. There's little bits and pieces that you can save time with and save a lot of things with. E-tools, right? We only had one. That's not our fault. We weren't getting paid. We didn't have any e-tools except for one, which wasn't even an e-tool. It was like it was, but it wasn't like the foldable kind. It was just one that we had strapped to the back of our pack. So you can see us walking back. There's lattices on the ground. We don't know who put this here. Probably Ukrainians before we had fallen back. And yeah, we're just patrolling back, trying our best to stay quiet. But again, why are we taking such an open area, let me pause here. Speaking of open areas, holy shit. This is my fault. I was the point man. I was out there, and as we were extracting, we had just planted the second row of mines in the second road, and I did not know exactly where we were going now. I was trying to get information from the people behind me, like, okay, which direction? And we have a Ukrainian with us who knows exactly where the trench systems are, and he knows, okay, we need to go here. So he knew the route. But the problem is he was not military experienced, and it's not his fault. He's an awesome dude. But he ended up taking us through the middle of this field, and you can see just how large this thing is. Incredibly dangerous. We just had a drone a couple hours before target us and call in artillery on us, and here we are walking through a field for 5-10 minutes into a trench system. Not a good idea. Should we have followed the wood line across into the trench? Yeah, probably. I mean, and this was my fault because I was the point man. That guy, the Ukrainian, came up to go and sort of lead the way and tell me where to go, and then he just ended up really walking fast, and we weren't even catching up, and you can see how far behind we all are. Not a good choice. Anyway, I definitely can criticize myself on that. We end up getting to the trench system. And you can see a level of complacency. I mean, obviously we know that there's some sort of FO or drone watching. And here we are, just chilling, having our heads up, laying on top of the trench. I mean, this isn't even close to any small arms contact that like Russian infantry, but it could be. There's Wagner working in that area who had just destroyed a vehicle with a giant IED on this bridge that was nearby. There was a bunch of stuff that happened. So anyway, we ended up taking the trench system down. and back where we came from. And you can see the mortar impacts there on the concrete. We're just walking back past these mortar shells. And again, with Complacency, I don't know how old those things were. I don't know if they were new. And that's not the video. I don't know how new those things were, but at the end of the day, you know, the mission is not done until it's done, you know, and that's something that you need to realize, and I need to realize. Even if you're that exhausted, heat casing, no water, you're just pissed off, what the hell's going on, I need a cigarette, you know, don't walk back, you know, lethargic. The mission is not done. You know, it's all fun and games, again, until somebody gets hit. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I definitely did. And look, I'm not a professional. I'm not a technician. I got out as a Lance Corporal, E3 in the Marine Corps. I'm not somebody who could be looking at like strategy and stuff, but I know what I was taught, which was the very basic stuff. Complacency kills. So I hope you guys learned something. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.